Okay, what about oratory? Who's gonna win oratory? Okay. What about mock trial? Who's gonna win Athenium? Who's gonna win Athenium? Awesome. Well, I once again want to congratulate everyone for all your hard work. I've been at HQ pretty much all day, hearing the excitement, the yelling, hearing how great Athenium is, how people are stepping up to the mic and taking a chance at themselves. That is what this is all about. So, let's get to business. Where's Austin? Austin is here. Where's Corpus Christi? What about El Paso? Okay. Oh. What about Houston? Awesome. What about RGB? Okay. What about San Antonio? Not least, where's Tip of Texas? Where's House Magnolia? Or Maxwell? Where's House Maxwell? Okay, what about House Magnolia? All right. Okay, I've been told that I really need to wrap it up here. So let me give you a brief overview of what to expect. Our finalists are not here. So join me in welcoming the 2023 Texas Great Debate finalists. All right. All right. Let's get to it. So first of all, some disclaimers. We're gonna have people coming up, presenting their arguments. Please make sure to keep reactions and applause to a minimum until the very end of the round, like the whole thing. You gotta wait so that our viewers from home can hear everything, but also we want to be mindful and respectful of those who are participating in this. Second thing, the order is extend draw room in a second. Will come forward, they will get their prompt, and they will be escorted by Audrey Berryman to Ida Green 112. Okay. Next, we will go into cross-examination. Okay. Next, we will go into oratory. Okay. Followed by mock trial. I'm looking second, but we gotta get to it, y'all. All right. Then we will go into extent. I know. And then you will go into Athenium. All of that will be led by our tournament director. So who is here? Ariana Lugo. She is the director of judges from North Texas. She will be a finalist judge. Christopher Ruiz is originally from Round Rock, Texas. Christopher began his NHI journey back in 2012. He went on to attend Baylor University and Baylor Law School and is now an attorney serving as a judicial law clerk at the federal courthouse here in Sherman, Texas. Then we have Helena Smith, who is a part of our operations staff and a JFL from North Texas. Then we also have our tournament director and our assistant tournament director, Kaylee Kessler from San Antonio and Maya Castillo from Corpus Christi. They will be directing the entire thing up into Athenium. So now I'm going to pass it on to Kaylee.
Alright, if Audrey could come up, she will be taking the extent finalists to their room in Ida Green Room 112. So I'd like to introduce the extent finalists. Speaker 1 will be Felicity Fox from Tip White. And speaker 2 will be Alan Hawks from Tip White. Your prompt will be, what is it about your time right now in 2023 that makes adopting a new paradigm particularly exciting? One more time. What is it about your time right now in 2023 that makes adopting a new paradigm particularly exciting? So Audrey, you can go ahead and take the extent finalists to their room. Let's begin with cross-examination. On stage we have from Austin, the leader Ana Lucia Nieto and member Carlos Aguirre. We also have from Tip White, leader Sarah Pirtle and member Gracia Hernandez. The Austin team will be representing the affirmative and Tip White will be representing the opposition. If both sides are ready to go, we can go ahead and start the round. Beginning with leader of the affirmative, you have 3 minutes to give your opening statement. Time starts when you do.
Leader and fellow members, the hand signals are as follows. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Be it resolved, Latino community cultural leaders should prioritize the creation and promotion of artistic expression that fosters a new, compelling view of the Latino community that attracts community investment. Good afternoon, Your Honor. My name is Ana Lucia Nieto, and I'm the leader of the affirmative. This is my partner, Carlos Aguirre. We are here to explain the importance of our Latino identity. Issues we Latinos face have been repeating, and the paradigms in use are not creating change. On behalf of both of us, our value is to create an authentic and inclusive image of the Latino community. We are the future. Generations are evolving by the seconds, and we are losing connections and ties to our heritage. Most importantly, our value criterion is that we must invest in new community leaders within decision-making roles to support and preserve the portrayal of our culture. In Chapter 3 of Third Reality, Ernesto Nieto says, the process repeats itself, forcing us to constantly review, define, and redefine ourselves. Change is inevitable, and these new paradigms allow for our community to continue being acknowledged and respected. These community leaders will not only promote our extravagant culture, but increase the community equity building of our society. We would promote these new paradigms through art, music, or cinematography to connect and display traditional and indigenous roots. This type of art will depict subjective emotions and responses rather than impressions of the external world. The music produced by Latino artists and the representation of Latinos portrayed throughout the cinematography industry can influence community investment drastically. Your Honor, these kinds of artistic expressions can shift the view of our culture. Latinos are often shown in a negative light, which is why our second contention is to explain that the portrayal of our Latino community is stereotyped. 48% of Hispanic and Latin Americans have reported that they are tired of seeing tropes that stereotype them in character roles such as criminals. We must create the opportunity for ourselves. For our third and final contention, we envision that these new and authentic community leaders will have the power to obtain a seat at the table and use their valued position to provide more opportunities for involvement for not only individuals, but the broader Latino community itself. We are here today because we are invested in the future of the Latino community. How do we want to shape the future for ourselves? Thank you.
Member, the time signals are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
According to the Oxford Dictionary, the word need is defined as requiring something because it is essential. Did you know this?
Yes, I did.
So now that we are aware, do you think plants need water?
Yes.
And do you think humans need food?
Yes.
So then tell me why we should change our current approach for artistic expression.
I believe that we can continue to elevate our community by adding more opportunities to contribute to community investment to create a better community for the future.
Do you only want what is best for the Latino community?
I do, yes.
And would you agree that stability is more important than a shot in the dark?
Could you please repeat the question?
Would you agree that stability is better than a shot in the dark?
I would agree that stability is, yes.
And how can we ensure that this new approach will work?
Because if we want to create the opportunity for ourselves, we must invest in these new community leaders because they will benefit our community in the future.
Okay, thank you. Would you agree that positive and negative are opposites?
Yes.
And would you agree to be harmed is to be negatively affected?
Could you please repeat the question?
Would you agree to be harmed is to be negatively affected?
Yes.
Would you agree to have progress someone is positively affected?
I'm sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Would you agree to have progress someone is positively affected?
I would say that progress shows change, and by adding more opportunities, the progression throughout gives multiple point of views that contributes to creating a very valued community.
Okay, thank you. You are aware as a job of the affirmative is to prove that we absolutely need change, correct?
Yes, but what we are trying to get across is that we can contribute to our community to make it better in the future. By adding these new point of views, we can then collaborate together and create a better opportunity for everyone in the Latino community.
Okay, thank you. But it's to prove that we absolutely need change, correct?
We must include change to better benefit the community.
Okay, thank you. But we are experiencing stability, correct?
We are, and we continue to progress with these new paradigms that we are proposing.
So you just agreed that we are progressing, correct?
We are progressing, and we will continue to keep progressing.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, that is time.
Right, we will now have 2 minutes of preparation, starting now. That is time. Leader of the opposition, you may now give your opening statements. You have 3 minutes. Time starts when you do.
Leader, do you need me to repeat the time signals? The time signals are as follows. 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
We were all stuck on perceptions and ideas built on past experiences. Chapter 4, Confidence and Identity by Ignacio Nieto. Hello, my name is Sarah Curto, and along with my partner Grecia Hernandez, we represent the opposition. We strongly refute the resolve, which states that Latino community cultural leaders should prioritize the creation and promotion of artistic expression that fosters a new compelling view of the Latino community that attracts community investment. As I have stated in my quote by Ignacio Nieto, people are focusing on the past when we can not control that. We have to focus on the now. Judge, before we begin identifying the weaknesses in the argument that the affirmative presented, I think it's important to talk about what exactly their job is in this debate. The affirmative has the burden of proof, meaning they cannot just simply say or assume that something is true. They have to prove it. Rule 1, subsection B in the cross-examined rulebook states, the affirmative must argue the need for change. The affirmative must prove that change in our community is not just good or beneficial, that it's absolutely needed. Rule 2 says, the affirmative must argue for the need of change based on the scope and extent of the harm and injury caused by the existing practice, policy, or ideology. Right now, we are not getting harmed so really that we need to change our practices in the Latino community. We are progressing right now, so why change? Judge, according to the Oxford Dictionary, to prioritize means to give priority to or designate as being most important. So the affirmative supports the resolve and thinks that this kind of artistic expression should be prioritized because of the meaning of the word. That means they must argue that they are most important, more important than any and every other practices on our leaders' agenda, which to me, my partner, artistic expression should never be prioritized above other things. Judge, after I've stated these rules for you, let me start telling you how this has failed to. In the cross-examination, the affirmative clearly stated that we are progressive. What their job today is to prove that we have no progression whatsoever. So how can they stand here and say that we need to change our practices when they just proved that we are progressing? Their harm must be a direct link to the status quo, which they failed to provide. They also failed to provide a harm so great that they say that we need this change. So how can they stand here and say that we need to change? We are obviously creating progression in the Latino community, as the affirmative has said, and as we are providing. If the Latino community is progressing, so why are we going to change something that is risking it to fail? Judge, me and my partner have heard the argument the affirmative has stated, but they have not proved on why we need this change. Thank you.
That is time.
You will now have 2 minutes for cross-examination. Time starts when you do.
Do we need a repeat of the hand signals for time?
Yes, please.
1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Do you agree that having members of the Latino community in positions of power is essential to the community equity building of the Latino population?
May you rephrase that question?
Do you agree that having Latinos in power is essential to the community equity building of our population?
Right now, we do have Latinos in power, in Congress, in government, in high-paying jobs, so
But do you believe that it's essential for the equity building of our community?
no, I do not, because we are already progressing with those people in power.
Okay, do you believe that underrepresented ethnic groups in government are often misrepresented or ignored?
May you repeat the question?
Are underrepresented ethnic groups in government often misrepresented or ignored?
They are not.
Would you agree that the Latino community is currently underrepresented in Texas government?
They are not.
Are you aware that in 2021, only 46 members of the Texas legislature were Latino, whereas if it accurately represented Texas demographics, 72 would have been Latino?
In the past, there have been less representation in the Texas government, and right now, as you have stated, we have more representation. So, no, I do not.
Would you agree that memes such as social media and cinematography misrepresent the Latino community and support stereotypes against us?
I do not believe that.
What about shows like Family Guy, where the only reoccurring Latino character is a maid?
I do not believe I do not know why you're bringing up Family Guy whenever that has nothing to do with this argument.
Do you believe that depictions like the one I previously mentioned are accurate?
May you repeat the question?
Do you believe that the depictions that I previously mentioned about the Latino, are accurate?
They're not, because why are we
Okay,
talking
thank
about?
you. Do these stereotypical views reflected in the arts get traction in and outside of the Latino community?
May you rephrase the question?
Do you believe that these stereotypical views get traction in and outside of the Latino community?
Stereotypical views are in the Latino community, but they have been here for many
Okay,
years.
thank you. No further questions.
Time.
We will now have 2 minutes of preparation. Time starts now. That is time. Member of the affirmative, you may now have 2 minutes to give your rebuttal.
Member, do we need a repeat of the time signals?
Yes, please.
Time signals are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Your Honor, after hearing the opposition's point of view, we still believe that ours stands strong. The Latino community is largely underrepresented, not only in the arts, but also in government. Without representation, how can we be expected to build the community equity of the Latino community as a whole? As Ernesto Nieto said in The Third Reality, the process repeats itself, causing us to constantly review, define, and redefine ourselves. Not only is the Latino community underrepresented, but the representation that we do have supports negative stereotypes against us that force us back into negative roles. We deserve better. Latino culture needs to be more recognized and respected by other groups, and the first and most effective step that we can take towards this goal is through emphasizing a more prominent and positive reflection of Latino culture in cinematography, art, social media, and more. The paradigms that we have in place now are forcing young Latinos back into the stereotypical views that are given to us by society and preventing us from moving forward, not as individuals, but as a community. Judges, the opposition claims that we have been able to state a need for change, but we have clearly communicated a clear need for change in the stereotypes that the Latino community faces now. to prevent the further oppression of the people and the loss of our culture. During questioning, the opposition clearly stated that, and I quote, Latino stereotypes are in the community. Why should we be forced to continue to live in a society where stereotypes continue to push us down and oppress us? Thank you.
We will now have 1 minute of prep time. Time starts now. That is time. Member of the opposition, you now have 3 minutes to give your rebuttal and closing.
Member, do you need a repeat of the hand signals?
No, thank you, Judge.
Time starts when you do.
Today is nothing we haven't made. The really hard times were back then. Everyone was down on their luck. Chapter 1, Legacy of Faith, Ernesto Nieto, Third Reality. Judge, this quote is clear to show that the harm and the past was back then, not now. Hello, my name is Grace Hernandez, and along with my partner, Sarah Pearl, we represent the opposition. We strongly refute the resolve which states that Latino community cultural leaders should prioritize the creation and promotion of artistic expression that fosters as a new, compelling view of the Latino community that attracts community investments. Judge, I cannot stress this enough. During the cross-examination, the leader of the affirmative clearly stated that we have stability and we have progression. Judge, today my job as the opposition is not to prove anything. Our main and most important job is to preserve and protect the status quo and current practices. According to Rule 1, subsection B, the affirmative has to prevent a harm that is so great and shows that we absolutely need change because of this said harm. Judge, the affirmative stated that their harm was underrepresentation, but I'd like to remind you that this must tie back to the result, which is not prioritizing artistic expression. Yes, this is a harm, but it is not a direct result of not prioritizing artistic expression. Judge, allow me to be very clear. If the affirmative is not able to undeniably prove that not prioritizing artistic expression leads to underrepresentation, then the notice of an abrupt and complete change in our approaches is irrelevant. This is not my opinion, this is their job. Judge, it is clear that they failed to make this connection in their argument. If we are currently not being harmed by not prioritizing artistic expression, what is the need to change our current practices, Judge? In the past 3 decades, the current approach that we've been using, the Latino community has gained more representation than ever. Judge, the leader of the affirmative stated in their opening statement that they want a seat at the table. But we have more representation in Congress, in the Senate, in top paid positions, college enrollment has increased, and in that period of time, the Latino rates have surpassed that. Judge, now tell me, Judge, does that picture of progress scream irreversible harm and need for change? Judge, the affirmative here has not proven anything. They've just shown and stated. Judge, I'd like to remind you and keep this in your head that they must prove that we absolutely need change. Judge, our community is not perfect, but year after year, we have been taking steps in the right direction and will continue to do so with the right approaches, with the current approach. Change is not needed, not today. Judge, why break a system that hasn't even been broken? We are progressing, and we are not being harmed so greatly that we absolutely need change. The affirmative will not have one way to disprove everything I just said, but again, they couldn't prove anything simply clearly stated. Thank you, Judge. No further time.
Thank you.
Under the affirmative, you now have 1 minute to give your rejoinder.
Member, do you need to repeat your time signals? Do you need
No.
Time starts when you do.
Judges, I'd like to remind you why we are here today. We're here to create an inclusive, authentic image of the Latino community by the means of investing in new Latino community leaders with decision-making roles to support and preserve the portrayal of our culture. To close off, the opposition stated that we have to focus on the now. The now that we live in portrays an unauthentic image of the Latino community through art and allowing negative stereotypes to oppress us. Do we want this image to define us? No. This is why we need a change. We urge you to side with the affirmative. Thank you.
All right, thank you, folks. We still have 3 more rounds to get through. All right, I'd like to now introduce our oratory speakers. Speaker 1 will be from San Antonio, Jose. Speaker 2 will be Fernando Gomez. All right, Speaker 1, you have 4 to 5 minutes to give your speech.
Speaker 1, time signals are as follows. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Jose Carlos Martinez Millan, and I believe that people in and outside our Latino community do not acknowledge the present as much as we acknowledge the past. Judge, have you ever wondered how many Latinos do not get acknowledged today? Think about yourself, Judge. Have you ever thought that you have a voice but cannot be heard? There are other people in our community that felt the exact same way. Defining moments occur throughout people's lives. It is a continuous process. Something happens at any given moment. An incidental word of encouragement from a teacher on the playground becomes a key element of the chemistry that propels a young woman to eventually become a doctor. Or space reading about a high school football idol in the newspaper serves as the impetus to a young boy to eventually become a professional football player. That is in the book, The Third Reality by Ernesto Nieto. What Mr. Nieto is saying is that there are life-changing opportunities and life-changing moments that always happens right in front of our eyes. and that these opportunities are continuous. They always happen. But we need to strive for these moments. We need to get these opportunities. Because if we do, we can eventually turn out like the young woman that became a doctor, or the young boy that became the professional football player. Someone that caught my eye that did take this opportunity is AOC. AOC is someone that took this opportunity and made it into something bigger. She made it into something that will potentially help our future for our Latino community. AOC, or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is an American politician and activist. She is in the U.S. representative as New York's 14th congressional district as a member of the Democratic Party since 2019. But how? How did she get here? Well, she created this opportunity by herself. I believe that she used the resources that she had as a little kid. But what are these resources? These resources are NHI. I believe that NHI has not only helped her become a better activist and a better politician, but I believe that has helped her become a better person. But Judge, what is NHI? I like to believe that NHI is a Latino-based community made by Latinos of the present. I believe that Latinos of the present are people that knew that us helping right now, our community, will make it into something better in the future. Tenemos que pensar ahorita en el presente. Por ejemplo, como nos ayudó NHI. NHI es algo que nos hizo todos juntos. Nos hizo la comunidad latino, nos ayudó. Por ejemplo, yo estoy aquí con ustedes y ustedes están aquí con ustedes. Y también todos están aquí juntos. Pues, yo creo que NHI es algo que nos ayudaron a todos y que nos hizo algo que no vamos a pensar hace 20 años. Yo creo que cosas como esta organización nos va a ayudar a ser una comunidad perfecta. Yo creo que por eso tenemos que hacer la oportunidad para ayudar a la comunidad latina y hacerlo algo grande. Algo que no vamos a empezar hoy de 20 años. Yo quiero hacer mi comunidad de latino perfecto. Pues, yo creo que cosas como así, cosas chiquitas como así ahorita, nosotros juntos, nos va a ayudar a todos en la comunidad latina. Yo creo que, porque eso, nosotros somos algo grande. So, I believe that us doing everything right now in the present will potentially not only help us, but our future generations. I believe that it will also help our sons, daughters, grandkids, grandsons, and etc. Judge, I believe that if we work right now and do everything right now in this moment, starting now, that our community, our Latino community, will be something far greater than it already is. And not just in the inside, but I also believe that it will help outside, as in other communities as well. Thank you for listening, and no further time needed.
Speaker 2, you will now have 4 to 5 minutes to give your speech.
Speaker 2, the time signals are as follows. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
A lo largo de los años, a la gente latina se nos han dado sin fin de sinónimos: flojos, precarios, malvivientes. Yo, Fernando Gómez Pimentel, y miles de latinos hemos sido tachados de todos estos y muchos más sinónimos, sin que la gente siquiera sepa nuestra historia o nuestro origen. Pero sin lugar a dudas, de entre todos ellos, mi favorito es perseverantes. La gente latina resalta cuando se trata de persistir. Los latinos somos el mejor ejemplo de lograr algo en base del dolor, del valor y del esfuerzo. Un muy buen ejemplo de esto es María. María es una mujer latina. No importa su nacionalidad, porque las personas latinas siempre tenemos el mismo trato de desigualdad e injusticia por el simple y mero hecho de ser latinos. Su historia es predecible. Viajó a los Estados Unidos en busca de nuevas y mejores oportunidades, el sueño americano. Viajó miles de kilómetros en camionetas llenas de gente con su mismo propósito. Sufre acoso, discriminación y múltiples violaciones a sus derechos humanos, siendo su único consuelo el decirse a sí misma llena de falsas esperanzas: lo lograré. Porque a veces tu única motivación es decirte a ti mismo: lo lograré, incluso si ni tú mismo te lo crees. Su situación era comparable a la de un soldado en labor, tanto así que, al igual que los primos de Ernesto Nieto le escribían a su tía, María les enviaba cartas a su familia, concluyendo con las palabras: dile a todos que estaré en casa pronto y que recen por mí. Frase extraída del capítulo 1 y muchas más frases de este estilo, mientras les prometía llevarles dinero, mover a toda su familia a los Estados Unidos y, sobre todo, les prometía sacarlos de lo único que conocían: una miseria en la que habían estado sometidos toda su vida. Increíblemente, María había logrado llegar a la frontera. Las cosas que vio y vivió le habían cambiado. María vio gente matarse por un pedazo de pan. María vio gente matarse por una gota de agua. Estas vivencias le hicieron abrir los ojos ante la horrible situación en la que se encontraba. Sí, para el padre de Ernesto Nieto, el cual, en el capítulo 1, podía contar tan casualmente anécdotas como: yo y mis hermanas nos sentábamos de este lado de las barrancas para ver el tiroteo como si fuera el cine. Eran los villistas contra las fuerzas de Carranza, y allí estaban, con sus carabinas y con sus pistolas, todos llenos de sudor y de lodo. Después se iban otra vez a la guerra. Para María, estas anécdotas no serían más que motivos de risa, de burlas y hasta de satisfacción. María llegó a la frontera. Todo por lo que se había esforzado estar enfrente de ella, separándola una simple reja. Una reja que representaba su esfuerzo, una reja que representaba su valor, una reja que representaba todas sus falsas esperanzas, convirtiéndose en reales. María llega junto con otros inmigrantes, y a lo lejos empezaban a escuchar las sirenas. Pareciera que María estaba en un sueño lúcido, pero las sirenas eran su alarma. Todos ya habían trepado y todos ya habían cruzado, solo faltaba ella. Pero cuando María trepa y cruza la frontera, es abatida por los oficiales fronterizos y, conforme caen sus esperanzas, sus sueños, su espíritu, sus promesas. Desafortunadamente, María no es única. Millones de latinos y no latinos pasamos por lo mismo, si no es que por algo sumamente similar, por lo que María deja de ser una persona para pasar a ser un sentimiento. Y les aseguro que todos nos hemos sentido como María en al menos una ocasión, porque María no es solo viajar a los Estados Unidos en busca de nuevas y mejores oportunidades. María es el madrugar a diario, porque si malgastas incluso solo un segundo, todo por lo que peleaste se puede arruinar. María es el pasar calor y cansancio por el día y pasar frío y hambre por las noches. María es el estar destruido física, mental y emocionalmente, pero aún así continuar porque te prometiste algo, un simple aunque esperanzador: lo lograré. María es el noveno fundamento de NHI, porque solo alguien como ella podría lograr algo tan grande. Yo soy María, por tratar de encajar en una sociedad en la que se me dio la espalda sin razón aparente. La gente notó que María existía, tanto en persona como en sentimiento, que cada que una María era batida en la frontera, esa cultura latina, por no dejarse vencer, era batida. La gente notó que las personas que lograran el cometido de María eran culturalmente reprimidas, por lo que se preguntaron lo mismo que Ernesto Nieto en la introducción de su libro, al cual se le otorga el mismo nombre. Deberíamos rendirnos ante la omnipresencia de una cultura convencional y meramente intentar encajar cuál sea el costo para nuestra identidad como comunidad y cultura. Deberíamos seguir luchando por la justicia moral y la reforma, o hay una tercera opción, una tercera realidad. Thank you.
No applause, please. All right. Now for the judge's question. If you chose to honor a youth community leader, who would you select? Perhaps someone from your school or team, and why? One more time. If you chose to honor a youth community leader, who would you select? Perhaps someone from your school or team, and why? You will now have 1 minute to prepare. That is time. Speaker 1, you will now have 2 minutes to answer the question.
Judge, someone that I would think would be an example like that is one of my head coaches. His name is Eric. Eric has not only taught me to become a better person and a leader, but he has taught all of us to become someone better. He has helped not only me, but my region as well. Everyone from my region to become a better person. Judge, before we got on stage, Eric has shown us some of the fundamentals of NHI. He acted with integrity, telling everyone to do well in these finals. He was showing us how to do good. He was telling us what to do, and he was giving us motivational speeches. Who would do that? What person would give their rival or their opponent a speech and tell them to do good? Judge, I believe that if there's more people like Eric in our world, our Latino community will become so much better. I believe it will grow and it will become something not only known here. I believe that if we had more people that represented the fundamentals of NHI, like Eric, that we could all become united. We could all be one. So, Judge, I think that we as a whole is something that will help us right now and in the future, our Latino community. I believe that people like Eric would not only just help us, but help everyone around us, Judge. Thank you for listening, and no further time needed.
Speaker 2, you will now have 2 minutes to answer the question. Time starts when you do.
As Ernesto Nieto once said, leaders aren't great because of their power, but because of their ability to empower others. See, if I had to choose someone, I would choose any Latino leader who can pursue his dream, who have the audacity and capacity to pursue their dreams. Someone who seeks well-being, someone who seeks to help his community. See, I like to choose someone who can enter in Fundamental 17. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. Paraphrasing Ernesto Nieto, life is not static. Life is always changing. Therefore, I will seek to choose someone who's always trying to change the paradigms that we already have. Like Ernesto Nieto also said, And this is a really, really rough translation. People seek to change paradigms. Therefore, should we surrender against the omnipresence of a conventional culture, no matter the price, for our identity as a community or culture? Shall we keep fighting for the moral justice and the reform? Or is there a third option, a third reality? I hope my answer is clear. I will seek someone who can enter in the NHI fundamentals. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers. We're moving on to mock trial. You may exit the stage. Alright, mock trial from El Paso. We have attorney Emma Sassenfeld and witness Aiden Dirks. They will be representing the plaintiff. From Tip White, we have attorney Alejandro Sens and witness Fernanda Garcia. They will be representing the defense. All right, to get started, we will have 5 minutes for exchange and review of evidence. Time will start now. Never mind, that was already done. We'll get right into the round. Witnesses will go ahead and swear you in right now, so if you could please stand and raise your right hand. And repeat after me. I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you NHI. All right, you may be seated. All right, we'll begin with the plaintiff opening statement. You have,
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
you may.
Your Honor, may I begin my opening introduction?
You may, you have 2 minutes. Time starts when you do.
Everything in our world is connected and built upon. This is how we are able to show our leadership paradigms, through the interconnectedness of the world in the media. Good evening, Your Honor. My name is Emma Sassenfeld, and I am here today with my expert witness, Aiden Dirks. And we are here today in order to compel a clear vision on why you must side with us. Your Honor, the media has underrepresented Latino culture. They have taken our voices within the Latino community, and they have not only edited, but they have changed them. Your Honor, today I asked you to think, what do you think of as a Latino? How do you define yourself? Your Honor, I would also like to remind you that we are here today in order to argue current leadership paradigms. Your Honor, as Latino youth and as members of the National Hispanic Institution, I am here to remind you that we are here in order to represent ourselves. And I asked you to think, what do you believe a current leadership paradigm? And what compels Latino youth? Your Honor, this is why our opposing counsel is in violation of Social Utility Code points A, B, and E. A, whether it is in the rational self-interest of the whole community. B, whether it promotes the social, economical, political, intellectual, and values of the whole community as a whole. And E, whether it represents the rational self-interest of the community. Your Honor, as Ernesto Nieto once said in Chapter 3 of Third Reality, injecting a different form of social thinking into the Latino community would act to challenge them not only intellectually, emotionally, but also spiritually. Your Honor, I ask you today, how do you think our Latino youth are able to see things? How we have our representation and how we view the world is based on how our community is specificated. Your Honor, how can we simply allow Latinos to continue to be specificated negatively?
If someone sees their Latino culture being dissipated in ways such as thugs and thieves, that is what the community is going to think, and that is how they're going to perceive them. That is how we're going to have hate within our community, and Your Honor, this is why you must see that you must side with the plaintiff, Your Honor. My defense is going to come up here, and they're going to try and poke holes in this case. However, must I remind you, if I can show you that we have negative representation within our world, that current leadership paradigms are not working. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I be seated?
You may.
Your Honor, may I have the floor?
You may.
May it please the court, Your Honor, and the opposing counsel. My name is Alejandro Sanz, and I am here in representation of the Latino Community Defense. I, along with my witness, Fernanda Garcia, intend to prove to you today that the issue proper for trial is consistent and is in compliance with the Social Utility Code 11.01 and its determining factors 11.02. The issue proper for trial states whether the current leadership paradigm promoted by current Latino civic and community leaders is inconsistent with the values and goals outlined in Article 11 of the Social Utility Code. As the defense, we are here to prove to you that the leadership paradigm in the Latino community is consistent with Article 11 of the Social Utility Code and through our arguments. Your Honor, the leadership paradigm is defined as the pattern of leadership presented by current leaders in the community. The Latino community continues to thrive thanks to the consistent problem-solving paradigm leaders continue to show. Leaders in the Latino community prioritize the well-being of their citizens by providing them with all they need to succeed in life and setting them up for future success. Your Honor, the textbook definition of progress is advance or development toward a better or more complete state. Progress throughout all Latino communities has been evident in recent years. The Latino community has continued to progress due to leaders focusing on the community's well-being. Your Honor, issues are inevitable in the community. I will not argue against that. However, leaders always try to find ways to combat these problems, and that is what makes our leaders so great. Leaders' ability to work against adversity has led to considerable progress throughout the community. Your Honor, progress is progress, even if issues arise in the community. As long as the community keeps progressing due to the leaders, Article 11 is being upheld. Your Honor, as Ernesto Nieto said in his book, The Third Reality, you live it and despair it when tragedies occur, but then you get up off your knees and continue to move forward. This is a testament that progress overrules injuries. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I leave the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, may my witness approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I begin my direct examination?
You may. You will have 3 minutes. Time starts when you do.
Can you please state your name and purpose for your presence in court?
My name is Aiden Jerks, and I'm here to argue that the defense has violated points A, B, and E on Article 11.
Can you please define for me what a leadership paradigm is?
A leadership paradigm is a leadership style that values sharing, collaboration, and service over other values of exclusion.
Do you believe that these values are being uplifted and seen in relation to the Latino community?
No, these values are highly underrepresented within the community. It allows for an inappropriate judgment of the community. 10% of workers in media, Your Honor, 10% are represented in the mass production and social media of the Latino community.
How does this lack of representation affect culture within the Latino community in relation to point B?
In relation to point B, this lack of representation allows for an incorrect narrative of the Latino community. This shows as white actors portraying characters in Latino films, such as Will Ferrell playing as Armando in La Casa de mi Padre. It is an inappropriate accusation against the community because it does not allow a proper judgment of the community itself, and it goes against the promoting legacy and treasuring of the community.
How are the majority of Latino roles portrayed in Hollywood?
In Hollywood, it is a very low degree. 24% and 28% of the top billed characters in Latino films are represented as thugs and gangsters, and 62% of background characters, Your Honor, background, are represented as rapists, murderers, and previous people who have served in prison.
How do these false narratives and lack of representation negatively affect our Latino community?
This lack of representation does not allow a proper narrative in the community. It shows in a bias towards the community itself. This shows as such films as West Side Story. It shows, which is predominantly Latino, shows an inaccurate portrayal as it displays all the characters as thugs and gangsters. It does not allow a proper community, and it does not allow a proper standard for the community it possesses.
In relation to point E, how do events like the August 3rd shooting affect the Latino community?
The August 3rd shooting in El Paso allowed for an incorrect representation of the Latino community. Such people in the Latino community were afraid to leave their cities because of the racial prejudice that surrounded it. Patrick Crucius, Your Honor, murdered 13 Latinos, Your Honor, 13, and injured many more because of what he learned from the media, what he learned from movies, from the media, from what he saw, from what we were represented as.
Have leadership paradigms in Hollywood been successful in promoting Latino culture?
No, these paradigms have not been successful because they do not allow any correct representation of the community. This shows 4.5 of speaking characters within the Latino community are still represented as thugs and gangsters, and it does not allow proper accusation.
How is the defense not living up to third reality and violating point E of the Social Utility Code?
As Nelson Mandela once said, it sets into motion the redefinition of the Latino identity from that of a minority, a race, or a third world community. It doesn't allow the global culture of internationalities to be able to work together to pursue a common goal. But how can we pursue a common goal when all the Latinos are represented as rapists and thugs?
Your Honor, may I be seated?
Your Honor, may I approach the opposing counsel? Your Honor, may I approach the opposing counsel's witness?
Would you agree that social issues are different from leadership issues?
Leadership issues and social issues have a different paradigm set for them. However, it does not allow any...
Thank you. Would you agree that subsections listed in Article 11 are simply factors to be considered in this trial, as long as progress is prevalent in the Latino community?
The subsections stated within Article 11 show that they are the law that we are following within the Latino community to promote the Latino culture within the United
Can you please read 11.02? Aloud. Can you please read 11.02 aloud?
Can you point to where? In educating the social utility of a community system, approach to a problem, ideology, belief, or 11.02 factors to be considered by the court in determining community social utility.
So you do agree that these subsections are simply factors to be considered?
No, these subsections are still part of the law that is referenced in the Community Social Utility Code. It is an inappropriate and accusation.
But did you not, thank you, but did you not just read that it says they are factors to be considered?
Factors can be considered by whoever asked them to be considered. It is required through and by the law.
So do you agree that a violation of these factors does not mean the entire paradigm is a violation?
I do not agree.
Thank you. Would you agree that progress in any form is beneficial to the Latino community?
Progress may be progress, but if the progress is being represented in a negative aspect,
Thank you. So you agree progress is in compliance with Article 11 of the Social Utility Code?
It may be in progress, but it may
Thank
not.
you.
If the Latino
Thank you.
organization is so.
Would you agree that teaching Latino youth to promote the quality of life in our community will in future help with progress in our community?
When the Latino youth goes up to their TVs and looks from what they have learned from the media, they will see an inappropriate and inaccurate representation of their community from what they wanted to see.
So do you or do you not agree that teaching Latino youth to promote quality of life in our community will help progress in our
The
community?
Latino youth will not see appropriate action. So no, they will not see an appropriate accusation towards the community.
You are seriously saying that promoting the quality of life through the Latino youth does not help with progress in the community?
When it is promoted through the media, through a factor that is seen everywhere. Now, we are living in 2023.
What does social media have to do with leaders?
Objection, Your Honor. Rule 502, relevance to issue. Your Honor, we never stated anything about social media, not in the direct examination nor in the opening. We simply stated the media within movies. There's a big difference between film and social media.
Response?
Your Honor, the opposing counsel's witness just brought up social media while I was questioning them.
Response?
Either way, it's still relevant to the issue within the topic. He should not be bringing things that were not brought up in direct examination, and if he is, he's making up his own parts in the case, depicting statistics which were already stated during direct examination.
Objection sustained.
Are you aware that 62% of local Latino leaders promote civic engagement in Latino youth?
Repeat the question, please.
Are you aware that 62% of local Latino leaders promote civic engagement in the Latino youth?
The 62% may promote an appropriate
Thank you. So you agree leaders are promoting future progress through the youth?
leaders that promote through the process. But how do they represent themselves within the media?
Thank you. Do you agree the citizen's opinion is extremely important to Article 11?
Repeat the question.
Do you agree the citizen's opinion is extremely important to Article 11?
The citizen's opinion will be regulated based on the fact that whether they are seen in media, like movies, how they are seen.
Your Honor, may my witness finish his statement?
He may.
How the Latinos are seen from their leaders to the people educates the voice that they can be heard of. But it would not allow a proper accusation towards the community because it will make a false narrative.
Objection, Your Honor. Irrelevant. Your Honor, may I leave the floor?
Yes, he may.
Your Honor, may I conduct a redirect?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I begin my redirect examination?
You may. You have 1 minute. Time starts when you do.
Is there anything you would like to clear up from your CX?
Yes, the Latino community is built inside what we are living by today. The internet is surrounded now in 2023. We are living in a world where teaching is educated, but it's educated through the media. And if the media depicts the Latino community as thugs, gangsters, and inappropriate people, then how can we present to see them as a proper faction towards other races and other minorities?
Would you agree that since the media is representing a negative vision within the Latino community, it is neither treasuring, protecting, nor promoting our legacy? It is also in violation of point E of the Social Utility Code with the intellectual values of members of the Latino community and the youth.
Yes, it represents a false narrative and is not allowed for proper towards the community because these false narratives promote violence, inappropriate accusations, and forms of self-attack that are not appropriate towards the Latino community itself.
Your Honor, may be seated.
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the opposing counsel's witness?
You may.
Do you agree that you brought up media and the internet in your redirect examination?
Yes.
So can you now explain what social media has to do with leaders?
How do leaders present themselves through the social media is how they will show themselves through what people will see.
Thank you. What do leaders have to do with movies?
Repeat the question, please.
What do leaders have to do with movies?
Leaders show whoever is creating the movie what they're being represented on, how they are seen through the movie, how they are seen acting upon the movie, how they are seen.
Thank you. What leaders have to do with making movies?
Leaders promote the view of the community, the viewage of the community. They show how the community affects the rest of the United States. They show how it is represented.
Thank you. Are you aware that 67% of Latinos think their standards of living are better than their parents had at their same age, according to Exhibit 35 in my evidence package?
Your Honor, objection, Rule 50. Objection, Your Honor, Rule 504. What does this have to do with what was brought up in the cross-examination? People thinking that they have a better life than their parents. What did this have to do anything with media?
Response?
Your Honor, I brought up in my cross-examination the question, do you agree the citizen's opinion is extremely important to Article 11? Therefore, my question asking about a fact of the citizen's opinion is relevant to this cross-examination.
Response?
Your Honor, however, how can we state this when Rule 504 simply states that only issues that were brought up in re-DMs can be stated? Your Honor, this simply is breaking violations within the code, and this is within the facts. If I did not state that, and that was not brought up during the redirect examination, he can simply not bring it up during cross-examination, and you cannot take this claim as a valid point.
Objection overruled.
Could I ask the question again?
The time is up.
Your Honor, may I leave the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, may my witness be seated?
You may.
Your Honor, may my witness have to stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach my witness?
You may.
Please state your name and purpose for the court.
Your Honor, my name is Fernanda Garcia, and I am here in representation of the Latino Community Defense to prove to you today that the issue proper for trial is consistent and in compliance with the Social Utility Code 11.01 and its determining factors 11.02.
Please explain the current paradigm we have.
Our current paradigm has a problem-fixing mindset, Your Honor. This is a mindset that prioritizes problems when it comes to leadership. Thanks to this mindset, we are progressing as a community thanks to our paradigm. Your Honor, the opposing counsel is attempting to argue that our current distractions, specifically in movies, take away from all the progress that we have achieved as a community thanks to our paradigm. Your Honor, I will not argue that distractions are indisputable because they're prevalent in any community, because no community is perfect. But that does not take away from the fact that we have progressed and achieved so much thanks to our current leaders of the paradigm. Your Honor, like Ernesto Nieto once said in his book, The Third Reality, you live it and despair it when tragedies occur, but then you get up off your knees and continue moving forward, which is what our leaders live up to when these distractions do not determine how they act as a community. Your Honor, let me state the 11.01 Social Utility Code for you, the law we base our Latino community on. It states community systems, practices, approaches to a problem, responses to an opportunity, beliefs, ideologies, and attitudes are just to the extent that they serve and promote the community's general welfare and are unjust if they detract from it. The court is only to consider the factors under 11.02 if it is in violation of Article 11, but it is not. Your Honor, the plaintiff's argument was based on social advocacy and representation in media, which is defined as an organized effort aimed at influencing public attitudes, policies, and laws as they included in their evidence packet under Exhibit 11 themselves. May I remind you that this issue proper for trial is based on our current leadership paradigm, what our leaders are doing for us to progress as a community, not about social media and representation and what it has to do with our leaders. Your Honor, they stated that subsection A was in violation, but Your Honor, our sufficient leaders are empowering and nurturing talent for our younger Latino generation. This proves that we're here at NHI, for example, progressing as a community thanks to our paradigm. We have examples to look up to. We have leaders that we look up to that are helping us progress as a community. For example, here at NHI, us ourselves. They also stated that subsection B was being violated because it is not promoting social progress here in the community. They stated that we are represented as criminals and evil, but if the plaintiff cannot even trust in their own community, how are we to trust in themselves? Your Honor, Are we going to ignore movies such as Coco and Encanto? If we're on the topic of movies and how they represent the Latino media in a bad manner, are we to ignore those two movies? Those two movies progressed and showed our beautiful culture with beautiful graphics, and we're to ignore those, Your Honor? We cannot ignore those, Your Honor. And on the topic of subsection E, which promotes happiness to every individual, Your Honor, there are 670 million Latinos worldwide, and we cannot measure anyone's happiness. Happiness is immeasurable because everyone has their own different definition. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I leave the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I conduct my cross-examination?
You may. You will have 3 minutes. Time starts when you do.
Can you please state for me a leader in which is promoting values within the Latino community?
Sonia Sotomayor.
Can you please elaborate on that?
She's the first Supreme Court justice that is female and Latino, Your Honor. That is proving representation here.
How is that in relation to the media?
Can you repeat the question?
How is Sonia Sotomayor in relation to the media?
Because she is giving us Latinos a good representation in the news articles.
Can you please name, okay, thank you. Can you please name something that she has passed that has helped the Latino community within representation to the media?
She is giving us good representation by doing good laws, by doing
Okay,
good
thank you. Can you please state from memory a bill in which she has passed that has helped representation within the Latino community in the media?
The baseball game bill.
Can you repeat that answer, please?
The baseball game bill.
What is the baseball game bill?
She allowed baseball leagues to continue on playing in the media, and that gives us Latinos that we are capable of doing these decisions and helping other communities because we are capable as Latinos, Your Honor. Just because the media.
Okay, thank you. Would you say that Latino culture is strong?
Can you repeat the question?
Would you say that Latino culture is strong?
Our culture is strong, Your Honor, and our paradigm is promoting this culture.
Okay, thank you. Can you please define acculturation for me?
Acculturation?
Can you please define acculturation?
It is mixing of cultures together.
Okay, thank you. Would you say that since we only have 6% of Latino members in media, and that we also have 61% dissipated as unrepresented things, violating point E with intellectual ability, that this is not promoting the Latino culture within our community and giving it to acculturation?
Your Honor, may I remind you that there are 670 million Latinos worldwide, and 6% in a country that is not of Latin America or not a Latin American.
Okay, thank you. Can you
It's
please?
not something
Okay,
that
thank you. Can you
compare.
please tell me how this 6%, how members of the Latino community, bodies themselves, have anything to do with media or representation?
Can you repeat your question?
Can you please tell me by just simply having bodies within the Latino community, how this is able for them to represent their culture if they're not doing anything with it?
Again, Your Honor, it is unfair to use this statistic because we are basing it off of
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.
Not a Latin
Okay, thank you.
American
Can you
Latin
please
American
tell
majority.
me? Can you please state the issue proper for trial?
The issue proper for trial states whether our current leadership paradigm is consistent with the.
Okay, thank you. Can you
both the
please
values
define
of
a
the
leader
Latino
for
community.
me? Can you please define a leader?
Sonia Sotomayor.
Can you please define for me what a leader is?
A leader is someone who pushes others and leads them to do the right decision.
Would you agree that if someone is shown to represent a community, that they have leadership and have values within the community?
Exactly, and our leaders are good leaders. That
Okay,
represent
thank you.
the
So
right way
wouldn't
and
you
the
agree?
multiple examples.
Would you agree, given this fact, that if we have media that is negatively representing Latino communities, they are leading them in a false direction, in a false narrative?
Your Honor, our leaders do not control what movie critics and what
Okay,
movie
thank you.
directors
Can
do
you
about
please
our
tell me?
Latinos.
Can you please tell me how Latinos members are able to stop this? Or how
They're
they
not
have
able to
stopped it?
stop. That has nothing to do with our leadership.
Okay,
paradigm.
thank you.
We're
Wouldn't
not
you
talking
agree,
about
given
local
the fact
activities.
that they've done nothing to stop this, that we are correct within that you have violated the social utility code?
Again, that data has nothing to do with our paradigm.
Your Honor, may be seated.
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach my witness?
You may.
Do you have anything you would like to clear for the court?
Yes, Your Honor, the opposing counsel's attorney and witness gave data about movies and statistics and representation in the media. May I remind you that the issue proper for trial states that we are focusing in our leadership paradigm is in compliance with our community's goals of self-sufficiency and stuff like that. Your Honor, our leaders do not represent and do not control what movie directors do about Latinos. We can fight this, but we are fighting this by giving us good representation. Such, for example, to prove this argument, 52 members are in the Latino U.S. Congress right now, proving that we are given the right representation. We should not let these detractions determine what our community is. As someone who's troubled in need that is criminal, we should not let that represent us Latinos, Your Honor. We're a Latino community capable of doing things such as leading others to doing the right thing and to being smart and to continuing your education, Your Honor. Us Latinos are capable of all of this, and we should not let the media represent what we do and fix how we think, Your Honor. Thank you. No further time needed.
Your Honor, may I use the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Your Honor, may I begin my recross?
You may. You have 1 minute. Time starts when you do.
You stated during your redirect examination that we have 52 members within the Latino Congress. Do you have any approval rates that show that the Latino members within the community back up these people within Congress?
Yes, Your Honor. For example, Señor Sotomayor, a great example. Here, people at NHI.
Okay, thank you. Can you
are
please tell me her? Okay, thank you.
great
Can you please tell me her approval rate?
Approval rate?
Can you please tell me the approval rate of Sonia Sotomayor within Congress?
Your Honor, I'm not aware about approval rate. It's not on my exhibit.
Okay, thank you. Wouldn't you agree, since you cannot name the approval rate within Sonia Sotomayor in Congress, you can't even agree that the Latino community stands behind her?
I do not agree with that.
If you cannot agree that the Latino community does not stand with her, how can you simply say that we have leadership within the Latino community that is accurately representing it if you can't even prove that the Latino community wants her in Congress to begin with?
I did not state that, Your Honor. I stated that I cannot prove that just because I cannot say something that she asked for does not mean that's
Okay, thank you. Wouldn't you agree that
I'm not the one
Wouldn't you
saying
agree that if you're going to state something in your case, that you should be prepared in order to answer that and prove that you have the right answer?
Do I answer the question?
It's up to your attorney. He has to ask.
No, my witness will not answer the question.
Your Honor, may be seated.
You may.
Your Honor, may my witness leave the stand?
She may. All right, we will now begin 1 minute of preparation for the closings. All right, that is time.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may begin.
You may. You have 2 minutes. Time starts when you do.
As Ernesto Nieto once said, in these times, you can no longer fight with anger. You must use your mind. Your Honor, I was here today to show you how our Latino community is being underrepresented, which is something that the defense has failed to do. Your Honor, we were here today to show how they were negatively depicted within media. And I would like to remind you, Your Honor, that we are supposed to have expert witnesses. How can we quote the defendant witness, an expert witness, if she was reading during her direct examination? Your Honor, the defense also failed to mention statistics that the Latino community even stands behind these leaders they're mentioning. If we have leaders within our Latino community and we vote for them, they have to be represented in what the community wants. We showed you with multiple statistics, with underrepresentation in media and negative stereotypes. How can we simply say that Sonia Sotomayor is in the rational self-interest of the Latino community if they can't even back up that the Latino community itself stands for? Your Honor, we are here today to show you a clear picture of what is right. And if we can prove to you that leadership paradigms are being negatively affected, then we have won this case, Your Honor. They stated that we simply only stated a social paradigm. However, a leader is something that you can build upon. A leader is someone something follows. I am here today with the National Hispanic Institution as the leader. I am here to help guide my Latino youth into the right order and to follow the intellectual values of the community of the whole. That is something that the defense has not been able to do. They are not treasuring, protecting, and promoting our legacy. If they can't even tell you that the whole Latino community stands behind a member, how can we simply say that they matter? Your Honor, you must see that the plaintiff is right. You must follow this, that way we can uphold fundamentals with NHI. Your Honor, we are here today in order to show you everything we have proven. Your Honor, what I have stated for you is simply facts.
Everything that they have stated is speculation based on what we have given them. They have tried to poke holes in the case and have yet to find concrete evidence that disproves them. Your Honor, you need to see that the plaintiff is correct. And by seeing that, you are upholding the social utility code and protecting the rational self-interest of the community as a whole. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, may I have the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, today we have presented a compelling case through our arguments that the current Latino civic and community leaders are consistent with the values and goals outlined in Article 11 of the Social Utility Code. Your Honor, as we have shown during this trial, the current leadership paradigm has led to progress in the community despite the fact problems arise. The community leaders understand the unique needs and challenges facing Latino communities, and they work tirelessly to address them. Leaders have constantly provided improvement within their communities. This has led to progress throughout in many ways. The current leaders' problem-solving based paradigm leads to improvement in the community by focusing on fixing the problems that the community has to make the entire community equally great and then building on that. Having this mindset provides an equal opportunity to all citizens to thrive and succeed. Focusing on only the good in the community is ignorant and in violation of the Social Utility Code by not rendering everyone equal in their own right. This is why leaders should continue utilizing this paradigm that is consistent with Article 11 of the Social Utility Code. Your Honor, during the opposing counsel's witnesses' direct examination, they brought comparisons to other races other than the Latino community. Your Honor, we are only talking about the Latino community in this court. Your Honor, they also did not explain what the leaders have to do with any of the claims they brought up. They simply made claims with no solid evidence backing up these claims and having anything to do with the leaders. Your Honor, they only brought up social problems, not leadership problems. Let me remind you, we are only here to talk about the leadership paradigm, not a social paradigm, which is all that they talked about. Your Honor, during my cross-examination, the opposing counsel's witness could not even explain what media has to do with leaders in an adequate manner. Your Honor, therefore, their arguments have no validity, and we have won this round. Your Honor, during the opposing counsel's cross-examination, they didn't prove a single thing and simply questioned my witness's knowledge of leaders, which has nothing to prove. Your Honor, they didn't bring leaders into their line of questioning, and they brought up no solid evidence backing up the claims that they made of violations. Your Honor, during their closing, they did not disprove a single one of our points of progress. Therefore, we have won this trial by proving progress which they could not disprove. Your Honor, let me remind you once again that the subsections set in Article 11 are simply factors to be considered during this trial. One detraction of these subsections does not mean that the entire paradigm is completely inconsistent with Article 11 of the Social Utility Code. As long as progress is happening in the community, leaders are doing their job. Let me also remind you, the plaintiff has to leave you with absolutely zero doubt that the issue proper for trial is completely inconsistent with the Social Utility Code. If you even have a single doubt that the current paradigm is inconsistent with the Social Utility Code, then the plaintiff has not done their job and they have lost this round. We respectfully urge the court to consider our arguments in favor of defense to better our community. Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, may I leave the floor?
You may.
Your Honor, may I approach the stand?
You may.
Your Honor, may I begin?
You may. You have 1 minute for rebuttal. Time starts when you do.
Your Honor, we were here today in order to show you how we have underrepresentation within the Latino community. As the defense just stated, they said that we simply, during our cross-examination, just questioned the witnesses' basis on their knowledge. However, Your Honor, may I remind you that we are here today in order with our expert witnesses, in order to compel to the court how we are in violation of points within the Social Utility Code. How can you simply trust someone with their case in which they didn't have any points to prove it? How can we say that there's progress within the Latino community if they cannot even name them? How can we say that the Latino community stands behind them if we don't have any approval rates? Your Honor, the defendant stated that we provided no proof. However, this simply isn't true. We provided multiple proof and also defined what a leader is. We defined what a leader is and how they affect our community. Your Honor, we showed you how leadership affects them, and we also showed you how it negatively affects our Latino community.
Your Honor, we are here to treasure, protect, and promote our legacy, and that is simply something we cannot do. As the defense said, if you have one shadow of doubt in your mind, then they have won this case. However, how can you have this doubt when they have not been able to provide proof, and we have? Your Honor, may be seated.
You may. Thank you both teams. Moving on to exam, we have Speaker 1, Felicity Fox from Tijuana, and Speaker 2, Alan Hobbs from Tijuana. Speaker 1, you will have 4 to 5 minutes to give your presentation.
Speaker 1, time signals are as follows. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
The future leaders of this community have the unique opportunity to make change unlike any there has ever been before. The call for a new paradigm is our task. As Ernesto Nieto stated in chapter 9 of his book, The Third Reality, we needed a different understanding, a new rationale to train our future leaders, especially if we were going to make quantum leaps forward as a community and if we expected to thrive as an organization. The reimagining of our society is imminent, and to think about it as a whole is overwhelming to me. So I'm going to break it down a bit. Firstly, good afternoon. My name is Felicity Falk, and I am standing here today in representation of myself, of my peers, of anyone who has a dream. Because the most exciting thing about adopting a new paradigm in 2023 is the openness of our society and the willingness of this world to condone the creation of anything and anyone. Now, the opposing side may argue that new paradigms offer other, more appealing benefits to this community specifically. But this view fails to address that there is more than one Latino community. There is more than one community. There is more than any one ethnicity. And I am here to present the social, intellectual, and political aspects of this point. Socially speaking, according to Pew Research Center, the number of Latinos who say they are multiracial has increased from 3 million in 2010 to 28 million in 2021. This is an increase of 25 million people, and our new society will be comprised of different cultures intertwined, and every differing perspective and idea is our strength. Intellectually speaking, according to Pew Research Center, the Latino high school dropout rate has decreased significantly in the past decade. The modern era, as compared to the past, provides us the resources to acquire basic rights such as education. And while the fight for equality is ongoing, our predecessors have built a foundation, and it is up to us to decide where it will go and what we are going to do to get it there. Finally, politically speaking, we redefine what it means to be a Latino. AOC is the youngest female and Latina elected to Congress, and in her first term, she passed 3 amendments into law. According to the US Bureau, there are only 1.5% of our elected officials who are Hispanic. And yet that did not stop her. Our community raised her up, and it has the power to do that for everyone. The future leaders of this community have the power to agree with everything I just said, and they have the power to disagree. The important thing is that it is a choice. We can all be right, and we are all different. But the future leaders of this community are sitting right here in front of me. Thank you.
Speaker 2, you have 1 minute to prepare a follow-up question. Time starts now. That's time. Speaker 2, you have 1 minute to present your question.
Almost the entirety of my opponent's speech, they talked about how being multiracial is amazing and how it would create new paradigms for the Latino community. However, would that not result in the loss of our identity, in assimilation that would result in the loss of our values, what we fought so hard and lost so much to keep and protect? Thank you.
Speaker 1, you have 1 minute to prepare an answer. That's time. Speaker 1, you will have 1 minute to answer the question.
Judge, I would first like to point out that my opponent asked me a 2-part question. But in regards to our identity, the topic asks us about the creation of a new paradigm. And by using ideas from various perspectives, we learn from others' mistakes and we can create a more secure society. Thank you.
Speaker 2, you will now have 45 minutes to give your presentation.
Speaker 2, the time signals are as follows. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts with you, do.
The gifted youth have the potential to give our community a much-needed boost in intellectual leadership. Eventually, they would also be able to use their abilities and know-how to use their skills and expertise to grow new businesses in the Latino marketplace, crafting a new identity of Latinos that shift from the mainstream for dependency. This is a quote taken from chapter 4 of Ernesto Nieto's book titled The Third Reality. And it exemplifies how we, as the gifted youth we are, have the ability to change, to literally change the Latino community in ways that we could never have even dreamt of. Good afternoon. My name is Alan Hobbs, and I am standing here today in representation of me, of you, of every single person here in this room today, of the future of the Latino community, and of how now, more than ever before, we have an opportunity. How my time interacting with, debating, and befriending my fellow opponents and my fellow peers at the National Hispanic Institute has enlightened me to a time where now, more than ever before, there is an opportunity for change, an opportunity to implement new paradigms, an era for change, an era of excitement. We say that we can't, but I know for a fact that we can implement, again, new paradigms in the Latino community. And I will be showing you why today with my economic, social, and political points regarding why. Economically speaking, Judge, 1 in 4 businesses in the United States of America are Latino owned. That's over 25% of businesses in the United States of America that our tios and tias, our family own. Like in relation to previous rates, our economy has been thriving. Again, this is a time, an era for change, a time for excitement, where we can implement new and innovative paradigms to make new changes and to strive for a utopia, the utopia that we've always wanted. Intellectually speaking, according to Pew Research Center, the number of Latinos enrolled in some form of college has increased from 2.9 million to 4.1 million in just the past 10 years. Judge, this means that now we're simply put, we're getting smarter. We're getting far more educated. The smart Latino isn't the minority now. We've actually, again, just look around you. We're in NHI. Every single one of us are leaders in our own rights, and we can truly make a change. Finally, on a political note, according to Pew Research Center, the number of Latino elected officials has grown nearly 75% over the past 2 decades. This is the era for change right now. This is the time when this is the point where we can use these Latino elected officials, these 75% of growth, to actually implement these new and innovative paradigms, to actually be able to change, make changes, and be able to do what Ernesto Nieto's entire book, The Third Reality, was telling us all along. Be able to truly make all the pain and suffering of things like Title 42, where families and children were separated from each other, make that pain and suffering finally mean something. Judge, are we gonna sit here? Are we gonna let this opportunity go to waste? Or are we gonna take this opportunity, take it into our own hands, do something with it, and create our own third reality? Thank you.
Applause. All right, speaker one, you will now have 1 minute to prepare a question.
No further time needed, thank you.
You'll now have 1 minute to present your question.
In my opponent's speech, he stated that there had been a growth of 75% of Latino elected officials. However, according to the US Census Bureau, less than 2% of all elected officials in the US are Hispanic. How is this representative of an era of change and opportunity? Thank you.
Speaker two, you will now have 1 minute to prepare an answer.
No further time needed, Judge.
You'll now have 1 minute to present your answer to the question.
If my opponent had been listening to my speech, they would have known that I had mentioned that there was a 75% increase of Latino elected officials in relation to the past, and that we could use that opportunity, that change, to implement new and innovative paradigms. Thank you.
All right, thank you both speakers. I'm going to hand applause for all the. You may now exit the stage. All right, we are now advancing to the Athenaeum round. At this time, I'd like to introduce your two Athenaeum directors, Ms. Sofia Sierra Quintero and Mr. Jared Quintero. They will introduce your Athenaeum speakers for the evening.
The topic is, in the theme of collaboration over individual achievement and community investment, how will your NHI family play a key role in your leadership growth? First, from Uzma Kappa, Marian Rodriguez. From House
Speaker, the timestamps are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
My name.
My name is Marianne Rodriguez. Good afternoon. Today, I'm going to be representing my pod with the Kappa. Having an NHI family is beneficial because not only do you get to create great relationships, you get to create a whole entire world. They share the same ideas with you, they laugh with you, cry with you, be with you in the most hardest times, and even in the most rejoicing times. This improves community equity building, helping us pursue accomplishments, helping us have our dreams, and also working hard. If we could take example, Cesar Chavez, how he fought for the Latino community and helping us fight for labor and wages. He brought the whole entire community together to fight. This shows, honestly, that we can make our community grow. Just think about how NHI was made. How it was made by a family with great to huge potential. How they brought us, the Latino community, together to be here, to interact with each other. We could do pursuing, we could help each other, we could do everything. As Fundamental 14 says, to treat everyone like family. That's what we need to do. We need to treat each other like family. And sure, we're not all from each other's blood, but that's because we're something worth more. It is our created family. No, thank you.
From House Magnolia, from the pod, a dynamic dream team of Emily Celio. Please come to the stage.
Speaker, do you need the time signals?
Yes, please.
Time signals are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Fellow NHI members, I stand before you today to share my personal experiences and stories thanks to my NHI family. My NHI family has taught me how to fight for what is right, take opportunities, and help me see things within myself that I was not able to see for myself. They have taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet, for I could not stand by myself. They have taken me from crawling to walking, and now I am running on my own. Knowing that I came in a mess, they picked up those pieces and put me back together better than I was before. And someday I hope to repay them. Now, and I am today with this speech. I am repaying them. I will continue to repay them by helping future generations, and I will teach them how to fight for rights and injustice, and I will teach them how to take hold of opportunities and how to see things within themselves that they are not able to for themselves. I want to help people crawl and turn it into a walk and a run, and then from running into flying and then soaring. I hope
that I am half of the family as my NHI family is to me. I pray that I can make someone feel an ounce of what they have made me feel today, right now. This is an NHI family. This is how leaders are made. Thank you.
House Magnolia, from the Pod Easters, Marius Bonds.
Yes.
Time signal are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
Hello, judges and everyone. This is my story. When I was a young boy, I dreamed of being in the NBA. But this has changed through my experience of being in the National Hispanic Institute. It has pushed me to be able to be a head doctor at a hospital. I believe my leadership growth has grown tremendously through NHI. By solving problems and experiencing Latino deficits and impoverished impacts. This all ties together with Fundamental 24. Create the opportunity. Without creating the opportunity, another change would not be attainable in the future. That is why it's important for all of you to be leaders now and today and of the future. Put your voice and mind into the problems that we have today in the Latino community so we can be a stronger future of the Latino community with community investment. Because if you try your absolute hardest to make an important change, you will be able to change the future for the Latino community, to be able to have a thriving Latino community. It would happen through the support, by how your peers and leaders give along the way. But we can also look back to the past, how they're impoverished and how they were being stereotyped marks. We can look back by improving these for the future, for the new Latino community, for the future of the Latino community. By being people, being business leaders, being head doctors at hospitals like I want to pursue in my story for the future. Being able to come up here and express myself, to talk to all of you, has made my experience at NHI a wonderful experience, which is why I encourage you to be leaders of today and tomorrow for the benefit of the Latino community. Thank you.
Okay, from the Flamingo Pod, can I introduce Reagan Miranda?
Speaker, do you hear the time signals? Time starts when you do.
I could start the speech by shoving statistics and fast facts about the Latino community on your throat, but I will not. I'm here to tell my story, and I pray that this is a story that every single one of you guys will be able to relate to. I'd like to start this by saying one of the most important things that NHI has taught us is teamwork. Whether or not you are in a partner category or a solo category, every one of us has worked for the greater good of our region to gain points for being here, for the Silver Cup, for what hopefully every single one of us deserve to win. Fundamental 20 is reciprocate support, and Fundamental 14 is treat people like family. I want to bring massive light on the fact that every single region in this room has shown so much support for each region, especially Austin. I'd like to bring attention to that. They have shown so much love and support for every single region, and they deserve the Fundamental Cup. New leadership was needed from our nation's youth, leadership that didn't turn its back on the poor and disenfranchised people. That is exactly what we are doing. We are the new youth. We are the leaders. We are not turning our back on our community. Being here right now, we are fighting for the greater good of our region, not ourselves. While every single one of us in this room would have loved to win, we would love to be in the Sweet 16. We still came here, we fought for our points, and we are all doing the best that we can. We are supporting each other, and we are doing a massively wonderful job of it. We are being leaders by being here at competition, not just over these 4 days of being in the great debate, but over the months of work that we have put into this. Take every single thing that we have learned here at NHI and use our newfound views of our community to push forward for change for the future. We are now's generation, but we will eventually have a younger generation that has to lead. We will not always be leaders. Push for change for our younger generations. Every single one of us is leaving the great debate with some sort of new insight on our community and how to lead effectively. Please use this for a powerful change for our community. I am proud to say that I am a member of the NHI community and that we are all one large community now.
From the pod Jack Chaser, may I introduce Florida.
Yes, please.
Time signals are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
My name is Kel Vahan, and I represent Bag Chasers. Collaboration over individual achievement is extremely meaningful to me, and it is what pushes me to be a great leader. The only thing that pushes me more is everybody in this entire room. I am being grown as a community leader by every single person. Yes, I am talking to you. You have pushed me, and you have pushed me to pursue my dreams as leadership paradigms. I am the community. I am the NHI community. You are also the NHI community, and we have built each other up. We are like puzzles that fit together. You have pursued and helped me become every part of me that I've grown. I love you so much, but the thing is that you and I are going to be brothers and NHI brothers, and we're going to be NHI sisters because we have grown so much and we have shared so much connection. We are going to build the Latino community as an NHI family. We can affect the past, but we cannot affect the present. We can directly affect anything in the present. This is why it is called the present. We are able to provide value that is unable to be expressed with words. My growth as a leader is being experienced by my NHI family. I have experienced an insane amount of emotion. It is unable to be described with words. But right now, I know that my NHI family is helping me grow as a person. And I know that it is happening in this very moment. I would like to say that we are all leaders, every single one of us. You are a leader, and even though you might not know it, that it is inside you. And NHI has brought out the best part of you and the best part of your leadership. We are the leaders, and we are the NHI community. Everything that helps me grow as a person, I can try my best to provide to you that back. I want there to be a relationship where I can provide any supportive support, and then you guys can provide it back, and we can help each other grow our leadership. I truly believe, with the bottom of my heart, that I can accomplish anything that can affect the community, and I hope that you will support me. Thank you.
From House Magnolia, from the Jalapeno Poppers Pod, Penelope Davila.
Speaker, would you like the time signals?
Yes, please.
Time signals are as follows. 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5-second grace period. Time starts when you do.
My main focus has always been the well-being of others. In relatable terms, I was a people pleaser at a young age. But what can you expect from a little Latina with no knowledge of my cultural heritage or any interactions with people who look like me? But now I stand at a competition where I got the opportunity to speak to hundreds of successful Latino community cultural leaders. And that's why I'm so grateful to say I will welcome the new generation of great debaters who will join this organization that has not only taught me good communication and leadership skills, but also the broad issues that we face in our community and how we as individuals right now can solve them. In each category, we are following our legacy of creativity and resilience. And we have discussed how to foster new leaders and making sure that they prioritize the values that represent us accordingly. Fundamental 21 states to lead by serving and inspiring others. I believe a leader is someone who is able to change the mind of another. We have all been successful leaders, whether that be reminding your friend that they have the will and ability to succeed and win, or that your opponent is not the only one who knows what they're doing. And we all, in general, I'm grateful to be standing right now with the leaders of tomorrow who will continue to make our familia one who I'm so grateful to say I'm proud of. One who makes me feel like I'm at home and like I'm with people who look like me and act like me and talk like me, yet we still are educated and wise. We will continue to be, and we will spread this education down to generations to come. Thank you, no further time needed.
Everyone, thank you so much. You guys gave an enormous amount of support and love to the finalists. I want to recognize a very special guest in our house today, welcoming to our NHI family. We have the Mayor of San Antonio, Mr. and Honorable Ron Nierenberg, and his wife, Erica Prosper Nierenberg. Thank you so much for being here and joining us in our finals today. Thank you so much. Everyone, we must rush to dinner. So we want you to eat. We want you to be back here at 8 o'clock for the awards ceremony. Thank you so much. We'll see you at 8.